this coming year, even more than ever than before, youngsters especially are going to start to notice things. You're going to have stronger connections with animals, including animals that you don't expect to connect to necessarily. Fish, little creatures, beetles maybe, perhaps a worm crawling up a tree or a bush. Try to make contact in a benevolent way. If you see a creature, no matter who or what it is, pause for a moment and look at it and say, good life. Say it with kindness. They might stop. If they stop, and if you can tell, look at you, then say something pleasant, as you might say politely to someone. Say, I am pleased to see you, and I am hopeful you will have a most benevolent life. Now I realize you may find that silly. It isn't. It's very important that you recognize that all of the creatures, if you like, all of the beings on this planet are in very much of a harmonic choir. You may not really think about what this creature does or that creature does and how that can benefit your life. Oh, but it does. Not just because of the so-called food chain, but because all beings are ensouled. Can you even imagine that Creator would create such a complex world and give only human beings souls? Let me define a little bit more what a soul is. A soul is an immortal personality, meaning that after you are done with this life and move on to another, the qualities that you recognize as your basic personality, not affected so much by suffering that you might see or even feel a little bit of, not affected so much by people that you've met in this life or have come to be close to, but the basic traits of your personality. That's what is your immortal personality. It goes on. Do you know that very often in a given life, creatures that you meet, non-humans, all right, have the same type of immortal personality? Yes, they do. You never know whether you are looking at a bird or a squirrel that you've known and admired and appreciated and communicated with in another life. It's present in your life. Always try to say good life when you see other beings, even if you say it quietly. It might just be that you were pals with them in another life. And it might just be that in this life, maybe even more so in this year, 2009, coming up, and all the years that follow, you will find that your connections to these other forms of life will offer great rewards to you. Animals, as you call them, have so much to offer you in terms of wisdom. You will get inspirations from them, especially if they know you. Don't be surprised if they do. When you say good life and radiate a benevolent feeling, and this must be done with sincerity, don't do it just because I say so, then you might become more well known in animal world. Creatures might seek you out. word might get around that you are someone who is open to contact with other beings. This is a great way to get prepared for meeting the benevolent extraterrestrials that are coming to see your planet, to meet your people. The animals on this planet are not here to learn any lessons. They are here to help and guide you by their example and perhaps even by inspirations that you get from looking at them and being polite with them and conversing as best you can with them. They won't talk back to you in your language, but you might hear a word or two or get an impression when you talk politely to them. It's a great way to get used to meeting other beings who are completely different than you. Get used to it. Give it a try, and you don't have to wait till 2009, but you can if you want to. Good life.